Good morning, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful morning. And I thank you very much for sticking with us. If you're looking at this and you wonder, what the heck is this game? I've never heard of it. Why is this not Trackmania? You've come to the right place because you're going to see a really interesting speedrun of Mushroom 11. With that being said, without further ado, I think we should just get started now before I talk too much. All right, everybody ready? How do I do this with a... Let's do it like this. All right, 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to Mushroom 11, everybody. This is an experimental puzzle platformer, and it is, oh, right, that is great. I messed up my setup. I should have done, hang on. Just leave the timer running, it's okay. Yeah, always come prepared. I have to, eraser, there we go. Now everything is set, okay. 30 seconds, that's all right. All right, now for real, welcome to Mushroom 11. This is an experimental puzzle platformer, and we are this weird fungal mass. What we have to do is maneuver to the end of these levels. Now, what I'm doing, however, is not control the mass itself. However, I am this white circle. This white circle is an eraser. I control it with my mouse. I erase cells of the fungus, and they get deleted and regrow somewhere else. This is the mechanic how to move forward with the fungus. These things, plant things that I just touched, these are checkpoints in the stage, so when I get completely erased by environmental hazards, I respawn there. It is impossible for me to accidentally erase myself completely. Well, actually it is possible, but only if I really want to. So if you're wondering, oh no, he is moving the eraser so close, how does he not erase himself? This is actually intended by the developer. Speaking of the developer, this game was released in 2015, and the idea for this game was perceived during Global Game Jam 2012. If you don't know what a Game Jam is a weekend basically where developers all over the world, especially the global game jam because you know it's global, developers all over the world try to get a prototype of a game done which is to a common theme. In 2012 this theme was a picture of the Ouroboros. Ouroboros is the snake which bites into its own tail. That is a metaphor for destruction and rebirth, and you see that the idea has migrated into many parts of this game. Especially, well, starting with the movement mechanic, I destroy myself to regrow somewhere else. This is already an Ouroboros mechanic. And you see, we are at in a post-apocalyptic dystopian world, which is without any humans left anymore. At the same time, there is a lot of flora and fauna growing, so it's destruction and rebirth about stuff on planet Earth. As you see, I maneuver myself through environmental hazards, and there are several movement mechanics that I use. One is what I call speed growth. It means I put my eraser like slightly top right to the fungus, and then it gets really small and tries to regrow, and because the camera moves along, the eraser moves along with the fungus, and it grows really fast. This is cool. And the other mechanic is I rotate and try to fling the fungus along, and this is the first boss, by the way. It is one of the larger variants of the flowers which I encountered earlier. I have to absorb all of its leaves or whatever, and at the end of every stage, of every chapter, there is a boss fight, which I think is really cool because the boss fights are like always enemies that you have encountered before. Well, this didn't go so well. I tried to squeeze in through there to absorb the next leaf. There we go. All right, one more to go. Oh, actually fairly good in time. So if I do this, I don't have to wait until it's gone completely, and here we go, first chapter is done. Next chapter is another city, which is destroyed. If there is anything to say by the host right now, I think now would be a good time. Any donations or incentives which are upcoming?
So we unfortunately don't have any new donations. But I can inform you about the next incentive, which is the file name for Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. And currently the options that were submitted were Geo, currently leading with $22, and Birds with $8.
Here's a skip, sorry. Here's a skip coming up where I'm able to rotate on the... There, nice, got it. It is possible, actually you're supposed to casually crawl up there that onto on top and fall down onto the seesaw. Here, oh nice, that was pretty good. These doors, they open when I touch all the lights in the background. This mechanic will come to us a few more times. You see the purple goo. This is a hazard which is coming up in future stages as well. Whoops, that's a nice death. If I touch the goo, it will start to infect the mushroom, and my mushroom will start to, you see like this pretty much. There was the poison from the spider actually. The mushroom will start to dissolve itself until I'm either completely dead or until I erase the infected cells. So I have to really be careful not to stay infected for too long. Alright. Sorry, I totally interrupted the incentive. Were you done, Becky? Okay,
yeah, I can say that if you want to add another option for the file name, you can do that as long as the character limit is held, which is 8.
Okay, this stage is actually one that I grinded out the most, and during practice I accidentally almost beat my PB, which is ridiculously good, by the way. I have a sub 2 minutes time. Alright, this is the next boss. It is possible to not fight it, because, and this is what I'm gonna try. Oh boy, okay, gotta... nope, not gonna work. I'm gonna try 2 more times. If I don't get it 3rd try, we have to fight the boss. The giant spider. I hope you're not afraid of spiders so early in the morning. Depending where you live, of course. Okay, if I get a good rotation, dang it, okay. One more try. Yes, nice, there we go. Yeah. One of the things that you have to keep in mind when running this game is what I call fungus management. So it is possible to splice the fungus into multiple parts. Now you see, if I'm just one part, I can do the speed growth here, which is just, well, growing the one part which exists and erasing parts of it, very safe to move, very easy to control. However, once you're multiple parts, you have to be very careful, because you don't know exactly which part will regrow when you erase some cells. So sometimes it can happen that I accidentally cut off a cell, which I don't erase, and I think it's erased, and I try to move forward with what I think is the only blob which I have left, and as such I'm regrowing the part which I don't want to move forward, and then, yeah, I lose a lot of time. So you have to be really mindful and careful which segments are alive at the moment. Alright, it is... what am I doing? I should try this. Okay, cool, worked, nice. It is possible to flip this over yourself, but I did a bit of a harder strike here. Okay, yeah, dang it, I didn't get it. So it's possible to fling across the lava pond. Flinging is the second most important movement mechanic. You can just build up a lot of rotation with your body, and then when you have the rotation, you try to cut off the cell at the very moment to keep the momentum of the rotation, but convert it into a straight momentum instead. Now here I'm trying to skip these platforms, and if I'm taking another try, I'm taking longer than... Alright, here we go. Easy every time. Next skip is coming up. So, unfortunately not many runners run this game. At the moment I think I'm actually the only active one. No, I don't think, I know that I'm the only active runner, and even I'm not that active anymore. Unfortunately many people have tried running this game and, well, maybe gotten the record and... Oh, come on! This scene is a bit stupid because the camera hates you. But, okay, now I'm not here. Good. Yeah, many people have run it, but, well, stopped once they got the record and never came back. Which is a shame, because it's a really interesting speed game. You have to make use of the movement mechanic and of the environment, and I basically rooted out every level again and found new skips and new tricks, and alright, I'm trying to skip something here which is not working out as expected, but we can do it, don't worry. The problem is I can't do it casually anymore, so it will probably take longer to... Well, I'm supposed to put this... Here we go, to put this ball of, what is it called, hay, over there and into the water on the switch. Here we go, another one of these gates, remember those. Next skip is coming up. You're supposed to flip over a rock, which takes some time, and hit the switch here. However, what I'm doing is I just get in here. Okay, cool, and flip the switch myself. And now I'm fast enough. Bad fungus management. There you saw, I accidentally cut off part of the fungus, and it didn't regrow where I wanted it to. Alright, now here we go. Alright, there we go. And you're supposed to flip over that big rock there, but we don't need that. We actually can skip a lot of environmental, you know, devices which are supposed to help you get through the levels. But, yeah, physics. Because this game has a focus on the physics engine, we can just make use of that. Alright, the next boss is, I'm pretty sure, supposed to be, mutated corn. What I just did there was I erased the fungus. This is actually not possible, well, not possible on the ground. But when you're in midair and you just like one segment left, you can erase the last segment which is left by smashing the eraser. And oh, here, did the quick kill on the boss. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay on top. If you stay on top, you can use the tentacles to get shot upwards. Now I have to just climb up here. Alright, here we go. Nah. Nice. Totally can't climb this. Yeah. Just have to be a bit careful. Here we go. Oh, I totally forgot to say this mechanically about the fungus. You only regrow when touching walls, the ground, or water. So you don't regrow in air. This is important, but there are a few scenes where the game tries to help you and lets you regrow in air, and I can actually abuse this for some skips. Here I got a bad rotation. Now let's get across. This level is abandoned factory, where we make use of certain devices. You might wonder what has been produced in this factory. Oh, by the way, in the background you see there it says Infinite Growth M7. Now, what is M7 supposed to mean? The music in this game is not composed for the music. The music in the game is not composed for the game, but it's actually licensed for it. It is by a experimental electronic band called the Future Sound of London, and it really fits the mood. Sound design was done by Power Up Audio, by the way, who have done other various great indie games, among others Celeste. You've probably heard of that one, as opposed to Mushroom 11, which is a shame because you should have heard of this one. This puzzle is screwing me over every time. I have to turn this screw by putting myself on here and use the gear as a device to turn myself. Here, by the way, on the left side you see a sign which says Infini Foods, now with more shrimp flavor. Now, what could that mean? And it's a pig which is saying this, so keep that in mind for the rest of the level. Here, we could use the hook, but we don't need that. We're just using it for momentum, and I didn't get a good. Nice. Oh wow, cool, that worked. Nice. Here we go. Here's a little strat that I developed. It looks very slow, but it's actually a bit faster, I think, I hope. Just wait until this aligns, and I go through here, and I go, no, alright, this is bad. Alright, now it's not faster anymore, anyway. Just have to do it the slow way, I guess. That's when you're too greedy. You have to stay a bit in place to make them lock so they don't turn, these gears. But whatever, not a huge deal. Here's another skip that I found, which I will try to get. Got it, nice. You're supposed to get between those gears there and stop the grinder so you don't get grinded, but if you stick to the top of the grinder, that's not good. Okay, good. you don't fall into it, and as such Fungus Management can't screw you over. Alright, we are approaching the boss now, and if you remember what I said to you to keep in mind, well, you will see why that is being said there. Okay, try, oh wow. Little catapult here. This one screwed me over in practice. Let's hope it doesn't again. Doesn't look too good. Alright, whatever. We can do this. I think we should be fairly well in estimate. Nice. Why can't I do this anymore? I don't know. We get this, I promise. What is going on? Can I even run this game? Okay. It's where I once knew how to do it. We get this eventually. Just trust me. I think I have to erase a bit of mass. I'm too heavy on there. Really wondering, it's one of these scenes, you grind the levels out for a long time, and you never have a problem with certain scenes, but all of a sudden you get issues, and I really wonder why it has to be a marathon run out of all the runs now, but this should... Oh, come on! Are you kidding me? How... Oh. I think if anybody wants to donate something, that would be a great time.
Glad that you mentioned it.
Finally, okay, sorry, we don't have time for donations.
Alright.
This is the boss. And you remember how there was a pig saying with more shrimp flavor? Look at the boss. It's a shrimp pig. Now, there is a boss skip and it's ridiculously hard. I'm going to try it 3 times, and I would be really happy if we got it, because we lost a lot of time because of my inability to do this one scene. As you remember, I said... Yes! Ah, that made up for the many tries. You can build up enough momentum with the rotation and get across the lava pond to hit the level trigger. You're supposed to defeat the boss to absorb it and use its mechanical device to roll across the lava pond. So that was pretty good. That I got it first try. So that totally made up for the 60 million tries of the catapult there. All right, host, now you can read a donation if you want.
Thanks. We have a $10 donation by Anonymous. And they say, "Hey Zed, great commentary. I've never heard of this game before, but it is a real treat watching you destroy it. Good luck." Thank you for the donation.
Thank you so much that you enjoy my run. If you're interested in running this game yourself, there is no Discord or anything, but you can just get in touch with the runners, I guess, or with the only active runner, which is me. Yeah, many runners actually have complained, or I asked the previous world record holder if he's interested in, hey, do you want to race sometime or something, because I'm learning this game currently, and he was like, yeah, but no, I think my wrist is going to be destroyed. And this is actually a serious issue with all mouse control games, and I mean even controller games. Oh, minecarts, by the way. No platformer can miss them. Oh, I tried to escape here, but didn't get it. This is also the reason why I'm using a vertical mouse and wearing this stupid glove, because I really have to take care of my wrist. Yeah, running mouse control games always brings some issues with your wrists and hands, and that's also the reason why I'm using the keyboard for the eraser buttons and not the mouse buttons, which is because if you use the mouse and you put your finger down and hold down the eraser button, you put a lot of strain on the strings, and when you then move around your arm, that's not good. So yeah, speedrunning is fun, but always stay healthy. Okay, I'm trying to skip here as well. Didn't get it. Okay, what you can do here is fling across far enough that you reach the checkpoint, and then you will respawn in the minecart, so you don't have to wait for it. It saves a few seconds. Now I lost a few seconds instead, but it's alright. I think we're really well in estimate. Even with that 60 million tries catapult. Alright, this is what you casually do. You just wait for the minecart here. go. Thank you, certainly someone for calling me really nice. We appreciate it. Alright, now we have to get on these hooks here, and if I get a good shape, I can get the next one here. Good. I am 99% sure that it's possible to do with some great movement, get over the next hook right there, but excuse me, unfortunately this is pretty hard and I prefer to not do it. So you see all these environmental enemies. I used to believe that when I played the game the first time casually, that if I absorb them I will grow in segments, but this is actually not true. They're just there for the 100% completion, which is not what we're doing. We're only running any percent here, which is a lot more interesting because you can just try and skip as much as possible. I haven't learned 100% yet, but I'm interested to do it at some point. But you know, you have to take a break from a game at one point when you've grinded it out. I have lowered the world record by I think 9 minutes, and it's a really shame that nobody else runs this game because it is really fun to run. You see, there's very interesting mechanics, very interesting abusive physics that you can, or abusal of physics that you can make use of for certain strats. This is looking pretty stupid. Alright, here I have to get upwards to touch the lights, and this is not going to work out either. Come on. By the way, I'm seeing that we're very close to the 3,500 mark. I would really love it if you lovely viewers would make it possible that we reach 3,500 during my run. There we go. Yeah, this door can troll you sometimes, and you always have to wait until you fall back down. There's like a strat where you split yourself in half and stay down with one half, and the other half triggers the... Come on, give me enough momentum upwards. Touch the wall, touch the wall. Oh, dang it. Yeah. As you see, these upward streams here, they push me upwards, obviously, and the scene here is a bit hard to... That was a shame, because if I had touched the ceiling, I would have regrown and could have easily made it to the platform. But whatever. Come on, get up. Okay, cool. Yeah. This level, as you see, we're like inside of a volcano or a mining facility because of the mine carts. Ah, I forgot to tell you about the minecart part. There was electricity. Electricity is another environmental hazard. We're going to meet it a few more times in the run. Electricity works in a way that the segment of the fungus which touches it will get completely erased. So if you have multiple segments and one of your segments touches it, only the segment which touches the electricity will get deleted. But if you're just one giant blob, you will get insta-killed. So you have to be careful if you approach any electric hazards. Yep. It is possible to just grow up this wall to the left, however I try to not be greedy. I want to gain some more height. Do it now. Okay, cool. Could have done this earlier, but I want to stay safe. This chapter... oh, I could have made that actually. Maybe I would have fallen down on that gear there. This chapter is the second longest, so you remember the first chapters were really, really short, and you might have wondered why is the estimate 50 minutes if this game has only 7 chapters. And the first chapters are really short, but they get longer. After chapter 4 they just get a lot longer. So this one is the second longest, the next one is the third longest, and the final chapter is by far the longest chapter in the game, but also the most interesting. Has a lot of skips, which I hopefully am able to pull off. Right, here's a little puzzle with physics again. Alright, did it the safe way, great. Here we go, another minecart. You remember, rails are electrified. You see from this generator with a with a nice skull saying this is dangerous, don't touch it. Alright, flinging across the pond. This next boss, which is coming up, cannot well, it can technically be skipped, however we still have to fight it. That means I will try to not kill it, because keeping it alive will grant me a platform, which makes it easier and faster to exit the level. So here I first have to absorb these worm thingies there. 1, 2, alright, let's go. Oh no, in fire, I'm dead. And the next two, oh, okay, no worries. Go. And now all I need to do is get upwards. Okay, I'll try to not absorb. Ah, this is not good. I'll try to not absorb the last piece of it, which would make it fall down, because I want it as a platform. Alright, okay, it's cool. We still made it. Next chapter, chapter 6, is a laboratory slash hospital. Of course, totally abandoned as well. It has the most annoying boss fight. I really hope I can pull it off quickly. You remember the purple goo, touch it and you get infected. Now here's a nice skip which I try to get some rotation with. Oh no, okay, didn't get it. Anyway, it's not much of a time waster. Just have to do it there, this way. It is possible with a good rotation and a good angle to just fling across the gap and not do the climbing puzzle, which I just did. But oh no, too far. Too good of a momentum. Go. I try to, whoops. Alright, one more try. Alright, we just use the device then, I guess. It is possible to get a good rebound from this, well, I want to rotate the other way from this thing, and then can't do it even. Oh, good, okay. Here. Generators, you remember electricity, just don't touch them. Just get down here, up there. Should be safe to do it the fastest way. Yeah, good, nice. If you don't get that cycle, you have to wait a bit, and you have to be careful to get on top over the generator which approaches there. So this, I hate this puzzle because you have to be very careful about your fungus management here. This takes some time to set up. I just need 1, 2, 3. Good. Here's a unique switch. I have to press down the switch and electrocute the part which presses down the switch to open the gate. So I have to just, whoops, get over there. No. Come on. Go. You see in the background there's a really weird creature. Keep that in mind for a bit. I'm trying here to... okay, I tried to climb up there, but not too bad. Alright. This hook, I have no idea how it works. It has shortened so many times. So the way I do it is I just do how I think it's going to be done, and it works like this. Now we are encountering a new mechanic in this chapter, which we will need a bit, which is missiles. This missile, however, we don't have to use. We can just what he said and lied. Oh, that was pretty cool. You can just crawl up the wall. It is a bit faster, however, now that I messed up a bit, I probably didn't gain any time. I didn't lose any either. So these missiles, you can, when you touch them, they start off and you can use them as platforms to get across. And this is actually very important because reasons. Here's a very fun out-of-bounds skip that Game Guy SD, one of Battlebot Theater, good friend of mine, found. And I hate him for finding this because it's technically faster, but you have to have the precise angle, which I don't have right now. But it's a pretty cool skip, so I'm trying to show it off anyway. Come on, this... Yeah. Ah! Dang it, this looked actually good. Should we try it another time? Yeah, come on, let's try it another time. We're pretty good in estimate. Because it's very cool. You can... There's a spot in the wall where you can crawl through... that's actually looking good. And you can touch the checkpoint from below and replay the checkpoint and respawn here, so you don't have to do the missile. This red mist on top of me is really dangerous. It has basically the same effect as the purple goo, but more aggressive. So, yeah, here I just skipped a bit of a puzzle, and I would really prefer to survive this. Great. Alright, and here's 2 more missiles. The first one never works for me. This is why I already opted for the second right away. Yeah, good. Okay. And now get ready for the most ridiculous boss fight in the whole game. I am very glad if this gets over kinda quick, because it controls you very, very, very hard. So I have a setup here, if this kind of works out. Yeah, you see, these are really aggressive shots. If they shoot you, you get, like, infected. Okay, first I need to shoot one of his balloons. Make the shots disappear. Now, setting up... come on. That... Ah, come on, please. Ah, yes, that is pretty awesome that I got the boss skip, because that boss skip is extremely hard. And here we go. That is...
Zed, can I read a donation?
Yes, you can.
Great. We got $20 from Croc, and they say almost to 3,500. I can help with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, we're almost, we're even more almost there. Just $8 more. Come on, people, you can do it. I know you can. This is the final chapter of the game. Chapter 7 is also by far the longest. So you have a bit of time to get these $8 in, but not too much anymore. Sticky walls here. These walls which have the weird plants on, I stick to, and I can grow along there. A new mechanic of this chapter. And we have also a new environmental hazard, which is here, hot boiling water or acid. I'm not really sure what it is. It works as, if I touch that, immediately a lot of fungal mass gets erased from the point where you touch it. And you see we're getting from a more... you know, a more human-looking environment, we got to a more nature-looking environment. Here there's a skip possible, which I just didn't set up properly, but you can fling across the pond there. Not a big of a time loss, though. I really like this chapter because, well, it's pretty long. However, there are so many skips to do. It's really fun. Getting a good time here. Right here is the first skip. There's a tumbleweed right there. You're supposed to use the tumbleweed and lure it into the spikes. However, we don't need it, we just throw down the ball, not use the tumbleweed as a platform. First skip. And the funny thing about tumbleweed in this chapter is there is 3 times where there's tumbleweed we're supposed to use as a platform in spikes, but each one we can just skip. Second one is the hardest, but we of course going for it anyway. You're supposed to hang off there of that piece of the wall and fall down to get enough momentum. However, because if you're just falling down there regularly, you're too slow and getting squished. However, if we just grow down fast on the wall there, we're fast enough, we don't have to hang down there and fall down. Okay, good. Oh no, alright. Not big of a deal. Got trolled there, almost too greedy. Okay, now. It's always the parts where you least expect to fail them where awkward stuff happens. We just look. We are fairly good in estimate. I'm really confident that this is gonna work out. Okay, good. Alright, now remember what I said about the tumbleweed. Here is a puzzle section where we're supposed to use the tumbleweed and put it across this platform, and we have to go beyond it and then be a platform for the tumbleweed itself to get it into the spikes here. However, well, didn't work out. What we're doing instead is we're building up momentum ourselves. I can't do this casually, by the way. I have to do the skip. We are just, yeah, building the momentum up by ourselves. And here we go. Use that to get across that gap. Pretty fun. This device we also don't need, because you're supposed to build up momentum and get into it, build up momentum and get across the gap here. But, well, theoretically it's possible to build it all up by yourself. However, since this is a marathon run, of course things go wrong. There we go. And already the next skip is coming up. Here you're supposed to put yourself in half and use it as a weight on the seesaw. However, we can just do this instead. Come on, grow. Oh no. Yeah. Rather show the skips and have them not work than not showing them at all, I guess. Here we go. First try. By the way, if you're wondering why the levels of the game are moving from right to left as opposed to how most platformers do it from left to right, that is because this game is mouse controlled. So because most people have their mouse on the right hand side of the keyboard, it feels more natural to move your mouse from the outside of your body to towards your body. Okay, I will try a skip here. Alright, cool. It's saving a cycle. There is a port for Android and iOS devices, and that port supports left-handed mode where the stages are mirrored. It hasn't been implemented into the PC version yet. I think the developer planned to eventually deliver a patch for the PC version, but as of now, unfortunately, this doesn't exist. I'm always super afraid to fall down here, but it always works out when I'm afraid. So if you're one of the few people who are left-handed and have their mouse on the left-hand side of the keyboard, I'm sorry, you have to feel awkward when playing this game. It is still worth it though. I feel awkward myself playing this game, and I'm right-handed. Here, Tumbleweed trying to push me down, but I'll try to not be let down.
Zed, do we have time for a donation?
Yeah, sure.
Great. You will like that, because we hit $3,500 for Save the Children.
Awesome. Thank you so much, viewers.
And this last donation was from Human Tello, who donated the $8 with a comment, here, smiley face.
Thank you so much for the $8. I see we're even $8 more across the border now. So has there been another donation? No, because now would be a great time.
Yes. We got another $8 from someone without a name saying boom.
Awesome. Thank you so much for saving the children. This part is a bit boring. I call it the Wheel of Fortune for no reason, because there is nothing to do here. You just have to climb into the wheel and wait a bit. Which is also a great moment to stay hydrated. Here, okay, cool, we got there. This is nice. You intended method to solving this puzzle looks incredibly lewd, but fortunately we can keep the PG rating of the stream because there is a way to make it faster so we don't have to crawl down that shaft there and instead just get catapulted across. Alright, there we go. Stay safe for the children. You get it? Alright, now the Tumbleweed Skip, which is the easiest one, so that was it already. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is the method I use here. I think you're supposed to get into both these grinders and have the fungal pieces hit each other, but I just don't do that. I just do that little setup. This gate is made of bamboo and it has cost me runs because I'm apparently incapable of solving it correctly. This is why I call it the bamboozle gate. However, we got it second try. I'm very happy about that. The next puzzle element is a wheel. And this one was so hard when I played it casually. I can't do the casual method anymore. I never could do it actually. This is the bamboozle wheel. I call it the bamboozle wheel skip. And I'm more consistent in doing the skip than doing the casual method because I think when I first played the game, it took me like 2 hours to solve this puzzle. I really wasn't even sure if I was going for the correct method there. I looked up a walkthrough. Nah. We will get this eventually, don't worry. We are super good in estimate. Yeah, what I'm trying to do here is hit the wall in a specific shape and then get a precise or semi-precise angle rotation-wise. I'm hitting too early. Oh, I'm usually very consistent with this one, but as I said, I can't do the casual method, so... yeah, this is the acid. The acid is a bit trolled because it touches you and erases so many segments of the fungus. I was so confident I would get this. This is... Alright, fair enough. 10th try or whatever. If you're interested in the lore of the game, look at the background. Remember how in one stage there was an M7 tank? In another stage there was actually an M4 tank, but I didn't ask you to pay attention to it. You will now see in the background several glasses which say M4, M3, M8. And remember how this game is called Mushroom 11? What could that mean? It is possible to... Well, it would have been possible to climb up there, but I never get the skip, and instead I touch the checkpoint, which is also nice, so if I die up there, I'm having a bit of a buffer. Yeah, you see here M9, M10, and to the right there, M11 with a broken glass. So... what does that mean? Of course it means we escaped from there. Remember these gates? I have to touch all the lights at once. Shouldn't be too hard if I... oh, almost messed it up, but everything's fine. Hello. Good. Okay, we are approaching the end of this chapter. Well, these weird plants which bite, you might be wondering what are those, and by now I am fairly certain that these are actually beetles which have dug underground and are waiting for their prey. I have reason to believe that I'm correct on this one. Especially when you look at the boss. Okay, go across there, which is nice. Eat me. we just climb up the wall, we don't go to the right. Okay, here's a nice little physics-based puzzle. Actually, the last real puzzle in the game. Well, the second last if you want to. Okay, here we go. Now for the final boss. I don't know if you remember the game Snake, you know, the game which was on the old Nokia phones. Because we're now fighting a giant centipede. This, I always used to think this was a flying dragon, until I realized that it has feet and is crawling on the back of the arena. So yeah, it's actually a beetle. And you see, I have to feed myself into it to make it grow. What could that mean for the boss fight? Oh no. I just try to get a grip on it. Oh, we're on time. Should be good on time. Okay. Hello. And now I just have to feed myself to it, make it grow. You might see already where this is going. Yeah, that's actually not too bad that I killed myself there, because I don't want to be inside of the circle for too long. And remember how the theme of the game jam was Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail? Well, here we go. Now, that was a photograph of the black hole, by the way. So, final boss done. We're not just ready on time yet, because there is an epilogue coming up. Okay. Final scene of the game. Epilogue. Here is just try and be fast. Try to not choke, because if you're on barely PB pace, it's easy. Like mistakes like these can cost you PB when nerves kick in. And now we see a beautiful landscape of a destroyed city in the background. Everything is full with fungus, and suddenly we realize we have been responsible for the end of the world all along. And here's a giant checkpoint, and this is a bit loot again, but just need to set it up properly. Come on. There we go, and time. There we go. That's it. That was Mushroom 11, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for reaching 3,500 for Save the Children. It's a really fun game to run. Shoutouts to the developer, Itay and Julia Karen from Untamed Games. They're really... I've been in touch on Twitter with Itay for a bit. He's a really cool guy. Unfortunately very busy, can't update the game on PC. Shoutouts to DJ Carmichael and Cracker Bean, whose runs I used to learn the game. If you're interested in learning this is a really fun and interesting speedrun. Just get in touch, send me a message on Twitter or on Twitch, whatever. Would love to see more runners for this. It's also very fun casually, so if you're just interested in the game itself, it has great music, great art, great mechanic. What could go wrong? Alright, next we have Wario 3 coming up. I hope that you're enjoying SpeedCon for a bit longer and stick with us, because reasons, you know. And yeah, with that, I guess I'm out, and thank you.